quick walk around of the car. We hit the road. Pause the door, recording for a second because my other hand was full to open the door and whatnot, but the back seats. Sound system. Carbon fiber interior pieces have been added. Not everything has been done. They actually didn't send me the piece that goes here, and some other places as well. So I'm waiting on that. Yeah. Alright. That is the only issue I've had so far with the cluster swap, the park sense, for some reason. Some days it works, other days it just doesn't work. I have a little Android radio, turn that down for copyrights and all that stuff. Android radio, actually the whole screen has been swapped out. It does look OEM. Frankly speaking, it looks exactly like the OEM screen, but it is not the OEM screen. Actually, the bottom piece that goes in there is no longer there. I removed that as well. Being that the wires, I needed them to come kind of down so that the screen can fit in more down, so I had to pull that out. You don't really have to, but I just only did so due to the fact that I wanted to have the wires come down a little more. That way they're just not sitting the back of the screen, the unit, with the heat and all that stuff. You know, I'm not sure how hot the radio gets, so I don't want it to kind of cause any electric fire or burn out the wires or anything of that nature. So yes, it's an automatic, and obviously, and we have a little pedal commander right there as well. Leather interior. The only defect with the interior will be right here, which I will have this probably fixed soon. As of right now, it does not bother me, but other than that, that's the only defect. With the interior, exterior, it's 9 out of 10, if not 10 out of 10. I have not seen no defects on it, to be honest. But yeah, so the car is warmed up enough. I always give myself that little 2 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes, so the oil can do its thing and all that stuff, even though I still do run synthetic and all that stuff. But we can hit on the road. No, it does not have a backup camera. The Super Bs do not have a backup camera, so keep that in mind when you're thinking about getting one. The Super B model does not have backup camera, so you'll have to have that added on and whatnot. You'll have to get an aftermarket camera. You can do the OEM camera, but you have to run the wires that go from here all the way to the back of the car, frankly speaking. So it's kind of a bit more work than doing an aftermarket one, because you'll have to really run your wires to the OEM connections on the trunk and all that stuff. So you'll have to know which wire it is that goes there, which harness you need to unplug and plug it, you know, what you got to plug into and all that stuff. So that's waiting for now. I'm gonna actually just have an aftermarket camera thrown on there and whatnot, and that's it. The front, it's 2019 front bumper. So a few people have asked me on the comments, on my Facebook, you know, the Dodge group and all that stuff, what is needed to actually do the conversion. You need the bumpers, the headlights, the hood, the fenders, and the radiator supports in order to do that, plus the wiring harness as well. So do remember that. I have a few people in one more thing, the grill and all that stuff. The grills for the bumpers. I've had a few people gone and just bought the bumper and thought that's all they need, and started hitting me up and be like, hey man, so my fender, it's not lining up with my fenders, or the hood is not lining up. I'm like, yep, because you don't have the hood. You need the hood as well. You need the fenders as well. The fenders almost look the same as the original, but if you have the two cars side by side, you can kind of tell the difference, that this one is a little bit shaped a little differently, frankly speaking. So it's not fully the same, but it's about 95% also the same. But even with that, it's not enough for it to line up and all that stuff. So the wiring harness as well, you will need the wiring harness from that vehicle in which you're getting your bumpers from. So if you're getting it from a 2016, make sure you're getting the wiring harness as well. And make sure the length of the wire is kind of long, because you will have to splice that into your OEM wires. So you'll need to know which one is your powers, your DRLs, your signal, and all that stuff, because they are not color coded with the new model harnesses. The 2015 and up, the wires are all black. So stupid that Dodge did that, but yeah, it's all black. They're not color coded and all that stuff. Even for power and ground, they are not color coded, guys. So if you guys jump to thinking that it's color coded, you just have to match the colors and you're good, you're gonna be kind of screwed on that point right there. So make sure check your diagrams, check your, have your tester. It's very important to have a tester with you to know which one is your power and which one is your negative. So once you have your signal on and you activate your signal with the signal blank flashing, you'll know that, okay, when you go to the harness and you pin to the right one, then your tester will be flashing as well. So you'll know that, okay, this is my my signal, the power for the signal. And then usually the one right after it, the one next to it, whether it be on the left side, or if the power signal is on the right, then the left will be your ground. But don't quote me on that, but that's what I had noticed on mine, frankly speaking. So you'll know that that's your ground, and you'll have to ground that to your OEM harness, which is ground for your signal. You'll have to wire it to that. So your signals will have to pin match with your signal power on your OEM as well. Don't run it to something else. Always run it together and all that stuff. All right. But the harness install will be your most complicated factor on the swap. If you're going that route, the harness will be your most complicated factor. Other than that, everything else is really simple to do. And then obviously you gotta paint it if you haven't gone one with the same matching paint as your vehicle. Cluster swap, what you'll need for your cluster swap, you'll need your bezel, your cluster, and the U-Connect radio as well. You'll need the radio, the screen, and the bottom piece. Do not just buy the screen itself and think that the bottom piece will work. It will not work. It's not compatible. If you have a 4-inch already, if yours came with a 4-inch, then you will need to get the bottom piece with the U-Connect. If you already have yours and it already has the 8-inch screen, then you don't have to do that. The only thing you'll have to get is your bezel, the cluster, and then you'll need to get the taser from Z Automotive as well. Now keep in mind, you can do the install without the taser, but the only problem there is you won't be able to change the functions on the bezel. I mean on the cluster. So you won't be able to scroll through the settings. You won't be able to change things out or anything of that nature. So it's highly important that you use the taser from Z Automotive. What else? You can get something called a software called Alpha OBD. But that one is a little bit more complicated than the Taser is. The Taser makes things a lot more simpler. Frankly speaking, handling the Taser functions is a lot more easier than using the Alpha OBD, because the Alpha OBD has so much functions and so much things going on in it. You'll have to scroll through things, go in settings, this and that, and all kinds of stuff on the app and all that stuff to get where you want to go. But you will need the Alpha OBD if you're trying to do your mileage correction. There are companies out there that do charge to correct your miles and all that stuff, whereby some, even on eBay, that are selling the clusters, they actually offer the service of mileage correction as well for like $100 or so. So you can as well just do that, which will be easier than getting the Alpha OBD, because the Alpha OBD, you need to get the OBD itself that is compatible with the software in which you plug to your car and connect via Bluetooth with your Android phone. I'm not sure if it's on an Apple device, if the app is on an Apple device, but I know it's on an Android device. So you will need that in order, and then connect it via Bluetooth in order for the software to work. But you have to also check to make sure the device you are getting, the OBD that you are getting, is compatible with the Alpha OBD, because not all are. So that's another case right there. But other than that, I think that sums up everything with my Pedal Commander. Pedal Commander, those of you that are wondering what it is, it's a software that basically, or device that alters your throttle body, the response time of your throttle body. So if you're trying to get your vehicle, your throttle to kind of open up a little faster and all that stuff, you need this. A few people online feel like the Pedal Commander adds horsepower, but it really does not add horsepower. It only changes the response time of your Alpha OBD. So with that being said, being that if you're trying to, let's say, put the settings on sport, sport level 4 and all that stuff, what happens is when you tap on the gas a little bit, the throttle will open it will be at full throttle within seconds, compared to on a regular basis, of which you sit down, you have the throttle, and then you open your throttle on stop to see, as you press in the gas, the throttle slowly opens. Its response is really slow. So once you get this on the car and then you change it to the Sport Plus functions, the throttle opens really fast. You do have the eco modes as well, in which the throttle will be a lot more slower to open. It will open a lot more slower. And what that does is it actually helps you save gas for those of you that have a heavy foot. So it will help you with that out, and then you go from there. But those of you that feel like, oh man, this gives you more horsepower, blah blah blah, this and that, it doesn't give you more horsepower. It really don't. Stop lying to others, trying to convince them to buy this thing and all that stuff. It's not a bad device and whatnot. They do state it does not affect your warranty, but if you're taking your car to the dealer to have any warranty service or anything of that nature, they do advise that you remove it. There are some of the devices that you buy, like this one for instance. This one is Bluetooth compatible, so you can have this hidden as well. You can hide it in there, and so if you know that they're not going to be basically going in there or anything of that nature, then you can hide that and go from there. But if you feel like they're going to see it type of deal, then just take it out. And you'd rather be safe than sorry, because I don't want them going and telling you that, oh man, this because of this, it's gonna your warranty is now voided, or whatever the case may be. But yeah, if you check on the website, it does state that it does not alter. It has nothing. It shouldn't have anything to do with your warranty. It shouldn't void your warranty, anything of that nature. But sometimes, you have companies that will just find any little excuse so that they don't validate that warranty in which you have. and make you pay everything out of pocket. But yeah, that sums it up with basically the little modifications. The engine bay, I only have a K&N performance intake, which came with the vehicle. It is a high K&N performance intake. It's, from when I looked it up, it's one of their most expensive K&Ns that they do sell. Their intakes that they do sell. I haven't had no issues with it, frankly speaking. I cannot tell you compared to stock how does it feel, because I've never had a stock inbox intake on it for me to tell you, give you much feedback from it. The vehicle is not tuned as of yet. It is not tuned. Maybe in the future it will be, but as of right now, it is not tuned. I don't know what to say about the tuning softwares, whether to get one or not to get one, or if it's worth even jumping to buying a tune, especially with these cars, frankly speaking, with the SRTs, because at the end of the day, the car is already fast. You know, I don't know how much power do you need to get, frankly speaking, with already what it produces. To me, this is more than enough. Just getting it tuned and all that stuff seems like it's overdoing things, frankly speaking. But hey, if you go at the end of the day, look how cloudy it is. Looks like we're about to have a really bad storm today. But if you go to the point in which you see that you're doing more upgrades, headers, a true exhaust system, because straight pipe is not an exhaust system. Cutting your mufflers out is not an exhaust system, and whatnot. It's just something that changes your sound of the vehicle. But which I forgot to even talk about that, because I have a valvetronic exhaust on it. I did have Flowmasters Outlaws, which were with the valvetronics, but the car was so silent that I wanted it a little deeper sound, because the valvetronic had no purpose, because even when it's open, it's really cloudy right now. When the valvetronics are open, it really doesn't produce any louder sound at all. So when I went back to the muffler shop, they deleted the Flowmaster Outlaws, and I should have still left it there, because when I looked at the Flowmasters, it looks like, it's just an open pipe in there too. So it really wouldn't mean much. It's the valvetronics that are really muffling the sound completely. So the valvetronics are very effective with muffling sound. So if your car is too loud, you want to bring it down, the tone, you want to bring the tone down, the valvetronic mufflers will probably do you justice, frankly speaking. But that was some of the video on my mods and all that stuff. Personal review on the car. What would I say about the car? The car is a good car. I have no issues, knock on wood and whatnot. The car drives great. Frankly speaking, no codes, no lights, nothing of that nature. 86,000 miles now on it. It really does respond good. It's a fast car. It gets a lot of attention. Being it's an SRT and all that stuff, it can get a little bit more attention that you really do want. The only thing I will give you guys, I will tell you, I'm not going to give you all the pros and say, yeah, it's what buy and all that stuff, because it's SRT, blah, 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 up and down. No, I'm not going to do that. The only downfall I will tell you about it is that the gas on it, it's noticeable. It's not killing me, but it is noticeable. It does drink a lot of fuel. Not crazy, but it does drink a lot of fuel. I'm spending about $50 a day, frankly speaking, on gas compared to my other cars that I have. Even my Mustang, my 5.0 that I just recently sold, compared to that, this car drinks a lot more fuel. So if you're thinking about buying a SRT or a Mustang, if you're thinking about the fuel aspects of things, go with the Mustang, because it's a lighter body. Frankly speaking, it's lighter and it's better on fuel. But the SRT it's faster. I will tell you that. Even though it has more weight and all that stuff, the SRT is faster. The SRT has a a much more stronger engine, frankly speaking, and to me it's a lot more reliable than actually the Mustang is, because Mustangs, their biggest problem is they have a lot of electrical issues. They have really good motors and all that stuff. With the 5.0s, it's a really good motor. I'm not bashing the motor or anything like that, but they do have a lot of electrical problems. And secondly, their transmissions, the clutches, especially if you're going with a manual, they have so much issues with the manuals. You always have to, if you're getting one, you have to upgrade your clutch. That's one thing that I would advise you. Do not run the OEM clutch all times. You know, you have to change. Get yourself this thing, how do you call it? Get yourself an upgraded clutch on the vehicle and go from there. Because if you keep the stock one, then you're kind of screwing yourself with mods, tunes, and all that stuff. You will be screwing yourself in that factor. So get yourself an upgraded clutch and go from there. But that would basically call things, you know, that would be the only thing I would probably say. I mean, on the vehicle, at the end of the day, it's worth buying. It does have value. It always holds value. And obviously, once you put it on the market, you know, SRTs are hard to come by. They are kind of hard to come by, especially with this body style. You know, the newer body style, it's a lot out there, but this body style, it's really numbered to what's available. Frankly speaking, because either you're getting something with extremely high miles, or you're buying something with, you know, that's just has a lot of issues now. Previous owner just did not take care of it, and now you end up putting yourself in an even though it's an SRT, you're just putting yourself in a problematic vehicle because it has a lot of issues. Now, once you tackle all those issues, you're good to go. But in my case, you know, you'll have to make sure you're buying it from somebody who took care of their vehicle, does not, you know, drag their vehicle, always, you know, racing and doing all kinds of stupid things. Because you see a lot of YouTubers out there with their SRTs, what they're doing in traffic and drag strips and all that stuff. You know, these burnouts, these donuts, and all that stuff that they're doing. Yeah, sometimes you want to have a little fun with your car. There's nothing wrong with that. But once you see the person, you read the person as this person is always aggressive on that car, then you might want to avoid going or dealing with that car. Frankly speaking, you want to avoid buying that car, because he is now selling it not because of he no longer wants it or this, well, that too, but the fact that, you know, it's starting to have issues, and he's not trying to invest any more money with it. There are people out there that get bored of their cars very quick, and I'm one of those that, you know, I have my car for a couple months, and then I just get bored of it. Not because the car has any issues or anything of that nature. It's just because I get bored of it and I just want to go into something else. This has been my dream car, frankly speaking, but I wanted one with a red interior and a sunroof, but I wasn't successful in being able to buy that with I wasn't able to buy that with my price range, and with the exterior and all that stuff matching what I really wanted as well. So I got this, I settled with this, which I'm not very disappointed in my purchase, frankly speaking. It is a good car. It responds quite well. I've really, again, not truly had any major issues with it, just minor things here and there, which has been taken care of, and all that stuff. But that's a car. At the end of the day, it don't matter what you do. You buy a car, you're gonna have some issues here and there to take care of, minor issues here and there. No matter what the case may be. It might be tires, it might be an oil change, you know, so something minor, you know, that you need to do. But as of right now with mine, absolutely zero issues with it. Emissions good, you get in, take off and all that stuff. People that do the conversion as well, a lot of people don't successfully get all the lights working and all that stuff. They'll do the kit and then they'll have issues with the lights and whatnot. But me, myself, I've gotten everything working. I've gotten all the lights working. I didn't get it to the point of getting any lights on the dash or anything. The park sense is the only thing that, like I stated, it works. in many occasion it does work, but sometimes it just pops up that little notification that, hey, pork sense, unavailable, or something of that nature. But when I throw in the oil, the original cluster and all that stuff on it, the OEM cluster that comes with the car, once I throw that on there, it works perfectly fine. So I think it's something to do with the settings on the bezel, on the cluster, that I have to play with in order to get that functioning properly fine, and go from there. But this is gonna sum up my video from here on out, and I'll post at least this one finally. I've been doing so much of these recordings and end up deleting the recording, but at least this one I got to what I needed to say and what I wanted to say. LED interiors and all this stuff, lights and all this stuff. But yeah, I've gone to every detail that I wanted to mention concerning the car, and hopefully if you guys have any questions, you can hit me up in the comments, and then we go from there. Thank you all for watching, and have a good one. All right, bye.